It's Alan Cox. Thanks for being here. Hello. Back live today. Say hi to Bill Squire. He's right over there.
Creepy hugs.
Mary Santora's back from vacation.
What up?
Hey, there she is. Back in Midtown Manhattan. After what I can only imagine was a week of sun and fun and frivolity and unbridled passion.
So much passion. The most passion you can ever imagine.
The most passionate week that you and your boy were out in Arizona.
Oh, it was perfect.
You were eating fancy meals, and you were... Every time Mary and Brian do something, Bill, it always involves some fancy meal.
I like fancy dinners.
I have to assume that this time was no different.
No different.
I bet you went to the finest Michelin-starred restaurant in the entire Phoenix metropolitan area, didn't you?
Well, I don't know about Michelin star, but we actually both ended up secretly planning a fancy dinner and not telling the other one. So we had two fancy dinners.
Oh, man.
The one
How many fancy dinners can two people have?
Thousands.
Now, you didn't end up planning them for the same night, did you? You didn't have to eat two meals.
Well, that'd have been fun, like a sitcom where you got to be in two places at once, changing outfits. Yeah.
Like Three's Company. Jack's running out of the kitchen and then pretending to be one of the patrons. Yes?
No, the one that I planned was at this place. It's a working farm that they hold like events at. So everything's like farm to table, like they grow it there, and it was really cool. It was absolutely gorgeous. Like, this property was so beautiful. And
they grow it there and then kill it in front of your table?
Well, that's right. I asked about the meat, and they said that the only thing they farm meat-wise was the duck that they served. But everything else was from, like, local farms in Arizona. And they had this thing, it was called the Brick Oven Experience. So it was like a 6-course prefixed menu.
It's called the Hansel and Gretel.
Yes.
Back in the day, yep.
Breadcrumb you back and then eat your bones and turn you into witch's brew.
Oh, yum.
But we did that because it was like totally customizable. So they were able to make Brian's all 6 courses vegetarian. They were able to avoid shellfish and dairy for mine. It was really cool. It was just incredible, beautiful. Like, there's like a little brick oven behind us and we're under this pergola with candle. It was like so romantic.
How much?
So gorgeous. It was $175 a person.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Not bad at all for 6 courses.
Yeah.
And
Well,
like
that's very reasonable.
Well, they probably gave you like a leek.
No,
one of the courses.
it was like
no.
decent portion sizes. I was
Okay.
When they're on the farm and they got to get rid of the stuff, they're like, we got to go through this. So
Yeah.
especially when it's vegetables,
Right.
that stuff ain't gonna last. They gotta make big portions.
So we're in this like beautiful setting, and there's they have like the tree lined paths with the lights, and it's gorgeous, and we're having a great time, and we're celebrating Brian's birthday a week late, and there's these toads everywhere. I mean, like, I'm not exaggerating, we probably saw 200 toads. They were everywhere, and I asked them, I was like, what is up with the toads?
Any
And
wet
they're like,
sprockets?
what?
Any wet sprockets?
I don't know what a wet sprocket even is.
The band Toad the Wet Sprocket. They took their name from a Monty Python
Also,
sketch.
try this new Zoom link I sent you.
It's it was a deep dive, but it's okay.
Oh.
So you guys, there were
I don't even know what a
toads
sprocket
everywhere.
is.
Uh-huh.
But so there's toads everywhere, and I asked the guy, and he was like excited to tell us about. Oh yeah, they burrow into the ground, and then right about now it was like 8:00 at night. He's like, they start to come out and they help us out because they eat all the bugs and keep the pests away.
Was it noisy?
Not at all. They weren't like croaking.
Were
They
these the
just,
kinds of? Because I know that toads differ from frogs, but I just don't know how they differ. Are these
toads
the kinds?
are in the ground. Frogs are in the water.
Oh, okay.
Like toads don't have to go in the water like frogs do.
Gotcha. Were these
From
the kind
what I
that you like?
Yeah.
Are these the kind you could lick and then have a hallucinogenic experience?
No, those are like in jungles, not deserts.
Oh, okay. Again, I told you I don't know the difference. That's
a
why
jungle toad.
I'm asking. All right.
So we're having a good time, and we're just laughing and being silly. And I bet Brian $100 he couldn't catch a toad. And he was like, I'm not getting up in this beautiful setting. There's like a bachelorette party. There's like an old couple having dinner. He's like, I'm not chasing a toad around this yard. And I was like, and I bet him first. I was like, I bet you can catch one of those toads. He's like, you're out of your mind. I'm not going to do that. And then I was like, I'll give you $100. And he sat there and he's like, damn, I'm so cheap. I was like, I know you are. I was like, dude, go catch a toad.
You can't leave money on the table in a situation like that.
So he thought about it for like the whole second half of our dinner where he was sitting there and he's like, I know I could get one of these toads. And I'm like, there is a 0% chance. Like, you are not fast enough to catch a toad. So after the bachelorette party leaves, that was the table that was like closest to us. After they left, he just stood up unannounced at the table. And I looked at him, I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm about to make $100. And so he's like running around this property trying to catch this toad. And he freaking did it.
Yeah, I've caught a
on.
toad. They immediately pee on you when you catch them.
That's exactly what happened. He's
Yeah.
like, he dropped it real quick and he's like, it peed on me. I was like, well, you didn't actually show me that the toad was in your hand, you know. But
Oh, don't you try and get out
Oh,
of it.
she's welshing on the bet, boy.
No, I gave him the money, but I really, truly thought there was no chance in hell that he was going to catch one of these toads.
Toads are not that hard to catch.
No.
But they seemed like they were hopping away so fast.
Well, they do hop. Yeah, you do have to expend some energy to get them. But again, once you get them,
We
you
had a
got
lot
'em.
of toads growing up.
Yeah.
I have to be careful whilst mowing the lawn to not run over toads. Because that
really, I mean, yeah, okay, I guess that. But if you don't see them, you can't be responsible for every toad that's out there.
Right, but it
the
also
weeds.
it's gross when you hit them. So, Yeah.
Oh, they just splatter everywhere.
I mean,
It's just toad pee all over the lawn.
there's more than pee. It's
Uh-huh.
bad. It's bad.
So you had to give him $100.
I gave him $100.
Now,
yeah.
did you Venmo it to him, or did you have
No,
a Chris
I had
Benjamin
I had
right there?
A Benjamin, and I gave it to him. But just watching him lumber around and like hunched over, kind of trying to catch a toad in this beautiful setting. And he sat down. He's like, "We're such hillbillies. Like, we don't belong." I was like, "This is perfect. This
Like,
is
who's this
the
wee
farm."
white man? Yeah, he went.
I
Yeah,
know,
That's a farm. That's
I was
a-
like, "This is perfect."
they probably have
Toad,
kids
yeah.
running around trying to catch those toads.
No kids allowed.
Oh, it's adults only. Usually that
yeah.
means like PVC and strap-ons all night long. In
No,
my
not this
experience,
time.
not at the restaurant though.
No.
No
not
kids
the-
just meant they weren't going to be screaming at the table next to you.
Correct. There was
Every
like a-
toad was available to an adult.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 toad per adult ratio.
Oh, there was a 2-toad minimum
Yes.
or
yes.
maximum maybe.
Well, however you decide to look at it.
Mhm. That's
that
how I
was-
decide to look at it. So he got $100 and he got peed on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, there you go.
No warts as of yet, but we'll see how
That's
how
an
the
old
week
wives'
plays out.
tale, right? Is that from toads or frogs?
Toads.
I don't know. I thought it
Toads,
was.
yeah.
That's what,
yeah.
like, it was toads, but I think it was false.
Okay. But again, just to clarify, no wet sprockets.
I did not notice any wet sprockets. No.
All right. Well, that's good.
Yeah. It was
All right.
beautiful.
So some toads, some dinners, some
it was
fun.
so good too. Everything they made, and when it's right there, and they to give you the little kitchen tour and show you around, and yeah, it was phenomenal.
Was it 120 outside?
Dude, so when I called and made the reservation, they were like, okay, well, we have a dress code, no open-toed shoes or shorts for men. And I was like, hey, the day that we're coming in, it's going to be 104. And like the low was like 85. I was like, he can't wear shorts. We're sitting outside. Like this is an outdoor
You got to
thing.
get some linen clam diggers, baby.
Well, they were like,
They're like, yeah, lady, it's 104 here every day.
well, they were like, we have been making exceptions in the past couple weeks because it's unseasonably warm, but we would prefer. I'm like, dude, he's wearing shorts. I could not imagine sitting out there in a button down and pants trying to enjoy yourself when it's 95 degrees out. There's
Just
no
wear
way.
all linen.
Yeah.
Oh, it breathes.
Craziest thing, dude, when we were there for a few days, it was like not that hot. Like when you're like, okay, it's 95 at 10 o'clock at night, but it was like there's no sun, there's kind of a breeze, there's no humidity. It really wasn't as insufferable as I thought it was going to be. But it was great. It was
You were there
beautiful.
for 7 days, 5 days?
7 days, Saturday to Saturday.
People are asking after Brian caught it, did he immediately turn to you and say, I told you so?
Oh, God, no, he did not.
And we're off. I've got to take a break here. I'll have Kerry King tickets for you a little bit later on. Now that Slayer is done doing festivals, he's going back out on his solo run. Also, WMMS is presenting Disturbed next spring. So I'll have Disturbed tickets for you. They're doing their 25th anniversary tour, which will bring them to the Romo Fijo. Monsters tickets for you later on. We're getting in front of hockey season here. And then $1,000 an hour. So the next keyword for you to grab $1,000 from the Buzzard Bookie is coming up at 2:30.
It's the Alan Cox Show.
On our free iHeartRadio app and your favorite smart device. Just tell it to play the Alan Cox Show.
On iHeartRadio.
In the criminal justice system, prosecutors bring the charges, and judges make sure justice is done. Prosecutors have to be tough, and judges have to be fair. And in the Ohio criminal justice system, Megan Shanahan has been both a prosecutor and a judge. Sending hundreds of dangerous criminals to prison, no prosecutor was tougher than Megan Shanahan.